How's everybody doing out there? I tell you, folks, today I voted. Today I voted in the primary, the absentee. You can vote in anywhere in Mississippi. The primary actually is August the 8th. So 30 days prior to any primary in the state of Mississippi, you can vote absentee. So my wife and I, Q, we voted today absentee. And I don't mind telling you guys that how we voted and why we voted. But first, before I get into that, I want to tell you that the title of today's show is well, again, don't throw your vote away, but I'm gonna edit this. It's all about the power, right? But we're gonna do that next. But we're gonna kind of like leave that up there for now. But this is our show for today, and it's all about power. So, um, um, and when I say that, it seems that our leaders in this country have gotten away from the Constitution, the law, and it's all about power. Do you realize that they saying that Donald Trump got charged again? Donald Trump got charged for what he did on January the 6th. He got 4 indictments. And the irony is that people such as like Tim Scott, who's running for president of the United States, basically saying what the Democratic Party, what Joe Biden is doing, the president of the United States is doing, is he's using the Justice Department in order to attack Donald Trump. But the people that are testifying him, like such as Rudy Giuliani, these are people, all the people that was with Donald Trump. They had a list of about 6 people minimum that are going to testify that they could have charged and did not charge because they are going to testify against Donald Trump. And one of those individuals is Rudy Giuliani, and who's going out to saying, well, see that here again, you have deflecting. How about taking personal responsibility? How about if this was Barack Obama, you guys would be ready to have another ride. But how about let's take color out of it? How about it just look at the fact that the person broke the law? If everybody's innocent until proven guilty. So for him, if he's innocent, then he'll be proven guilty. But too much is going on. So many charges, so many things has happened. So again, it's all about power. The reason why I say that is because you have people that are supporting. Look at me. I got charged with those charges, and some people ask me about that to this day. So this is something that has branded me basically for the rest of my life. That will interfere with my life choices and my chances in life because of those charges. Even though they were fake, even though they've been dismissed, I still have to. I'm still being held accountable. And a lot of you out there use it that as if I have already been found guilty. I want to talk about the local election in Meridian, Mississippi. As I said earlier, part of this show is that I voted. Let's just, before I get into that again, I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to let you guys know that, like, I support Ricky Roberts for sheriff of Lauderdale County. And I supported him, and in supporting him, I got in flack from certain people's. And I don't mind telling you that well, Low is not a supporter of the Roberts family, period. And so while I have a lot of respect for Low, I also Low. I respect her right to choose, and she respect my right to choose also. But anyway, I got Chris Reed is one of the individuals that create problems for me in the past, but I think he was just he was the chief of police when I was arrested for these charges, of those charges that I just mentioned, child pornography, sending, receiving, and possession. Well, he was the chief of police at that particular time. And I had an opportunity to meet Chris Reed just one time. And I can tell you he's a very likable person. I never met him before, but had I probably met him, it would have been somebody I like. Perhaps when I might disagree with some of the things that he allegedly had done, or some of the things that I heard, or things like that. I think he's a likable person. I think that under Ricky Roberts, I think he'll do a stellar job. I just think so. I think Ricky Roberts should be the next sheriff, and I believe that he's going to be the next sheriff for Lauderdale County. One of the things that I think normally you don't see this, a person that's running for office endorsing someone, but I'm told that the district attorney, Cassie Coleman, I have a lot of respect for her, endorsed um, Calhoun. And Ward Calhoun, and I think that that's great. Everybody got a right choice. I have utmost respect for Cassie. Had she ran for, opposed, I would have been one of her supporters. I would have been out holding signs up, trying to do all I can to make sure she kept that job. And yes, I voted for her today. And so let's talk about the primary in Lauderdale County. I think Donna Jill Johnson did what's appropriate and done because it's you have coroner people running for coroner, and then the sheriff race and the coroner race. This is unusual when you have so many people running for those offices. So it was, believe it or not, from what I saw when my wife and I went there today, is that you have more people that are we see more people there today than I did in a regular election. Like the turnout is usually so low. This is going to be a high turnout, in my opinion. I think they have more absentee voters voting this time than they have at any other election. I want to let. I got a phone call from my sister today. She was upset because when she went in Donna Jill Johnson's office, she saw where it had Republican and they had Democrat. And so I explained to my sister that if you vote Republican, and so you guys know out there, know you can't. This is not a general election. This here is the primary, and you voting. And what you're doing is you're voting early. And so in voting early, you cannot vote in the Democratic primary and the Republican primary. You can only vote in one or the other. So if you're gonna vote Republican, you can't vote Republican and then go over and vote Democrat. So what my wife and I did, we understood that, and I explained that to my sister Doris, and she understood, and she understood. I said, now in the general election, you can vote Republican, Democrat, Independent any way you want to. So folks, understand that if you go and vote today, and if you want to vote for, say, Ricky Roberts or Ward Calhoun, you have to vote straight. You can't go and vote. Say, now I'm voting for him. I'm finna go vote in Democrat. That's not allowed in the state of Mississippi. I think most states are you gonna vote in one or the other. You cannot vote if you're a Democrat. You got to vote in the Democratic primary. Independent can vote any way they want to. So an independent can come and vote today if they wanted to, and they can vote for whoever they want to. However, if they vote for a Republican one time, they got to vote all the way down Republican. So I voted straight Republican today. I had one write-in. I wrote in Terry Rogers the second. And Q did the same thing. She wrote in his name in for commissioner of, I think, commissioner of agriculture. But either way, we wrote him in. We did not vote for that, but everybody else we vote straight Republican. And this is my first time voting in the Republican primary, and it won't be my last time. So I will continue to vote in the Republican primary. I don't see a Democrat that I would vote for. I would vote for Jimmy Smith if he ran against Percy Bland. And the reason why I would, because Jimmy has not vilified his police force. He has not used his police force in order to maybe kill the citizens, or perhaps maybe take drugs off the interstate and put them back in the city. Jimmy Smith has not done that. And Jimmy Smith, in my opinion, is, well, it's just my opinion, he's doing a good job. And I would vote for him. And I would definitely be supporting him being reelected. It is nobody else out there that I would vote for other than Jimmy Smith. What if it was Ron Turner? I would vote for Jimmy Smith. What if it was Dwayne Davis? I think I like Dwayne, but I think that Jimmy Smith again should be allowed to finish out anything that he want to start to do. And if Jimmy run, he feel like there's something that he hadn't done and it's something he want to do. Suppose maybe Joe Norwood Jr. I don't think he's going to run, but I think Joe Norwood Jr. would make an excellent mayor of Meridian one day. I think Dwayne Davis would too. So that's what I think. Those are my opinion. But right now, anybody ran against Jimmy Smith, I would vote for Jimmy Smith and I would support him. Yeah, he have his feelings on his sleeve, but I like what I like about Jimmy. If he don't like it, he gonna tell you to your face. If he's mad at you, he gonna tell you to your face. He's not gonna put his police force on you, and he's not gonna try to do anything to hurt you. Now I want to get back and talk about Ricky Roberts. Now I had the, I was sitting in Queen City truck stop. I was sitting in there, and and so was my daughter Rhea, and so was Fred. You know, Fred Welch. He was in there with him. And I can tell you this is that one of the things that I observe behavior when I'm around. And I watched Ricky Roberts come into Queen City, and it was crowded. And if I'm not mistaken, it was 2 or 3 days ago. It was 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago that I was at Queen City truck stop. I was sitting there, and Fred was in there, and we was eating it. And anyway, what impressed me most about him, and it was day before yesterday. And what impressed me most about him was Tuesday, is that it was crowded, folks. So you understand the end of the month now, it's check day. So it was crowded with folks, mostly white folk. It was a few blacks in there. That was me, Fred, my daughter, and I think it was maybe one or two, but it was crowded with white folks. And the black people that was in there, one or two, they were truck drivers in and out. But living in that area, I say it may have been maybe one other black individual in there other than us. And so this was loaded with white folks. Most of them, I'm gonna say they were my peers. Most of them were my age, but it was from the age, I'll say, from 40 on up to maybe well, actually, I think it was somebody in there was 30. But one thing I noticed about Ricky Roberts is that he came in the door, everybody knew him. He was smiling, shaking people's hands. I mean, I'm observing this man behavior. And so I'm watching him now and see what he gonna do when he get to my section. I'm talking about now. Queen City was so full, they have a section outside of they have a section in there where you can just come in and pay for gas at. This place was packed with people. He came in the door from the backside. I came in from the front side. He came in from the backside. When he came in, people started going up to him, saying something to him. He was very nice to him. He was speaking to him. He was communicating with them. He was jovial. He was expressive, and he was shaking people's hands. And it was almost as if it was like a family reunion, folks. I'm not just making this stuff up. I'm telling you the truth. And so when he got to me, he even came to me. He didn't know it was me. I had to tell him who I was. Once I told him what I was, he just started smiling. But he came to me not knowing who I was. He came to me also shaking my hand and everything. I said, "You don't know me." He said, "No, I don't." And he really don't know me because he don't know me like Buck. Buck can see me in the middle of the night with not on a full moon tube belt, but just on a regular night. I ain't talking about in the city where there's light pollution. I'm talking about out in the country, and the stars would out, and Buck still would recognize me. But Ricky wouldn't, and Chuck kind of, but not really. So Ricky came in, but he treated us the same way he treated everybody else. Now we didn't really know him, so he came to us, but not like he knew it. But it's almost as if everybody in there knew who he was. Of course, I knew who he was too, but he didn't know who I was or who we were. But he came to us the same friendly attitude, speaking to us. And of course, I told him who I was, and boy, did his face light up because he knew I was supporting him, and I've talked to him. And so, but either way, even Fred was impressed with Ricky. And it wasn't long before Chuck came in. Now, I'm going to tell you now, Chuck is a likable person. And Chuck came in, of course, we talked and everything. I know Chuck. Chuck has actually, I know Chuck is a very good constable. And it's a good thing Rick ain't running against Chuck because I don't think he'll beat Chuck. Now, I was just kidding. But I wanted to say this is that I got to say this: when you start talking about a person's character, and when you start talking about what they do and what they didn't do, you got to judge a person by the content of their character. You can't judge them based on something that their parents did, or their grandparents did, or mom did, or their grandparents did, or maybe you can't. You got to look at the people. If Ricky was a bad person, them people wouldn't have been shaking his hand like that, and they were smiling. Not I'm not going to even. I'm not going to even. You know, talk about my education. Just the fact that I'm a person and I know I can observe. I've been around long enough to be able to. I'm not going to flaunt my education. The fact that I've been around and I'm able to judge people's character and everything. Those were genuine smiles. Those were genuine handshakes. My daughter Araya, she's watching. Hey Araya, she can tell you the same thing. She can leave a comment about Ricky Roberts. Ricky Roberts was a very nice person, and it was genuine. I think that's going to be the next sheriff for a lot of their county. And here's the thing of it is that I still think that it would be unfair to any black person out there to judge Ricky based on what his dads and his uncles did or anybody else, because we can't. I never met his dad or his uncle. I read what they've done, and I know that they were perhaps maybe involved with the civil rights workers being killed. I know that, but they weren't involved. They were not involved or known Buck more than 40 years. Buck was the one that signed my warrant. You understand? This is his first time being a judge. He signed the warrant. He didn't sign the warrant. John Howard signed it. But when he gave, when he put, when it was fun to set a bond, he said no bond. Castor told him he had to set a bond. I don't take issue with him about that. I don't. I'm supporting who I'm supporting, and the fact that me and Chris Reed have had problems in the past, we never had personal problems. It was all business. It was all based on his police department or the city of Meridian. I never interact with him directly until I went to his house as a process server, and he was a very likable person. So now you understand that I'm voting for who I vote for. So I'm sticking to my guns. It was one time that I supported Cassie Coleman, and we were able to sit and talk, and I switched my vote because of the person that was supporting Michael Grace. And I wish I had not done that, because Michael Grace is not, I don't think that, while he may have done certain things, but Cassie don't wear her feelings on her sleeve. And I ain't saying that Michael Grace do, but I know that she don't. And I vilify Cassie, but Cassie was the one that sent contacted the state troopers and asking them to investigate my daughter's death, and no one else would do that. And I had that. And too, but I can tell you, crow do not taste good. But it wasn't my first time eating it, so I was able to eat it pretty fast. But then I had to really apologize to Cassie. Now she endorsed Ward Calhoun, but that's just one vote. Cassie one vote. So me and my wife have already neutralized Cassie's vote, because me and her both voted for Ricky Roberts. And I want to tell my family, ask my family, my friends to vote for Ricky Roberts. Absentee, if you got to work that day, if you're going to be doing something, working the polls or anything, any of those reasons, you can vote absentee. And so you go down and vote. You got to vote. You can't go. This is not a general election, so you can't vote Democrat and then go think you're going to go and vote Republican. You go and vote for Ricky Roberts. That's what I'm saying. Vote for Ricky Roberts. That's what I'm saying. That's who we voted for. We voted for Ricky Roberts today in the Republican primary, and we voted for every other Republican. I voted for the governor to remain in office. I voted for the Secretary of State, Lynn Finch. I voted for all of them. I gave them my vote. And I can tell you, this is my first time going across the board. This is really my first time voting in a Republican primary. But folks, I assure you, it won't be my last time, because I don't see in Lauderdale County on a local level, I do not see any meat with the Democratic Party. And if you look around at it, all the problems that we've had in Meridian, Mississippi, have been created by Black folk, Black mayors such as Percy Bland. And then when they telling you to go vote Democrat, what? We have a super majority in the state of Mississippi. You got to be some kind of fool if you're going to vote. Now, you know what? I've been called an educated fool, and I'm going to say I am one. But I might be a fool, but I ain't no damn fool. Now, you got to be a damn fool if you go and vote Democrat in the state of Mississippi when they have not just a majority, they have a super majority. Super. And Jeff is a likable person. If he ever run for, vote for him. And you have so many people voted for coroner. I voted for Jonathan Wells. That's what I voted for. Y'all get mad at me, whatever. I don't care. But you understand, I'm letting y'all know who I supported. I supported Jonathan Wells in the Republican primary. Now, in the general election, if I wanted to vote for Rita Jackson, I could, if I wanted to. Now, I can tell you now, I think that Rita Jackson is the most qualified person for that position because of her education. I don't know anybody else's education, but right now I voted in the Republican primary, and I'm asking my brother Tube Belt and his wife and my great nieces and everybody to go and do the same thing. Vote in the Republican primary. And I can tell y'all it feels good to vote in the Republican primary. It feels good to be able to do something where you know you're gonna make a difference. When you vote in the Democratic general election or anything in the state of Mississippi, you just throwing away your vote. You ain't doing nothing but making noise, and like James Brown, you're talking loud and you ain't saying nothing. And so you ain't doing nothing but wasting your vote. Wasting the vote. It's time for us to stop wasting our vote. Now look here. Let's assume that whoever the Republican Party is not the party of the people. It's the party where the money is. It's the party where the power is. And one thing I can say about Republicans, they don't forget friends. They don't forget you coming and helping them. They don't forget that. The Democrats are quick. Look how quick Percy turned on all of us that helped him get that job the first time. Look how he went in there, and they just didn't want to put the first black mayor in jail. FBI talked to him. They focused on him. He was doing illegal shit. I can tell you what Ike Brown said. He didn't want to be a part of anybody removing the first black mayor of Meridian, Mississippi. So kind of like I got to take issue with Ike on that. So what you're telling me is that you don't care what a person do, that you still going to take issue with that? And here's what my daughter said. Said he was very genuine and very nice and open to everyone by greeting people. That's what my daughter saw. I didn't tell her to say that. You can tell I didn't tell her to say it because she didn't spell genuine right. Baby, Google genuine and correct that. But anyway, I want to talk about I have a thing that I want to kind of be somewhat impromptu today. And I want to talk about I passed by uh I'm always passing down A Street, and every time I pass by A Street, I always think about Greg Gillen and his plight, his perils, man, because I can tell you folks that it is, and it's really bad. It's really bad in that what has happened to him. He's been going through a divorce for a while, and it seemed like everybody he trusted turned on him, and that's sad. Some of the people that he done. If you want to understand what I'm talking about, listen to this song by Big Raw, BIGGROBB, Big Raw. Please don't judge me. And this guy was on there talking about how he helped people and he fed them, but now they won't do anything for him. They all turned their back on him and forgot what it is. That's Greg Gillen. All the people he helped and the things that he done. We talking about family and friends have turned their back on him, ripped him off, lied to him, deceived him, and that's bad, because what's bad is that like all we have is our family and our friends. When we don't have that, we don't have nobody. When our family do things to us that we don't, and we lose trust, that create issues for us mentally. And I can say that using the court system, that's one of the things that Lauderdale County is bad about, or maybe that area is bad about, is that they all had this system of cronyism going together where they all work together. If they don't like you, if one person don't like you, the other ones don't like you either. I can tell you that I'm at the point where I do not trust any judge in Lauderdale County. I don't want any of the judges in Lauderdale County to officiate, because I think that they all have done things that outside of the law in order to impede my ability to live life and to pursue happiness. Meaning that I don't think that they looked at the law, and that's sad, folks. When people don't look at the law, they look at you as an individual. If my buddy don't like you, I don't like you. If Judge so and so don't like you, if Judge Doe don't like me, then Judge Jane don't like me. And that's what's bad in Meridian. You look at Lauderdale County, you see the growth, but you can see the growth and the development, but not in the right places. We need to be doing growth and development in human character, in individuals, in people, as opposed to the growth and development, or the development of building buildings and create a one-sided system just for one part of the citizenry. We need to be able to put a system together for all people. One of the things that, and that's what's bad about Greg. And Greg is somewhere where he's not free. He's somewhere where he can't go and do what he need to do, and it's so easy. All Judge Primo had to do prior to resigning was to just officiate what he was doing and stay inside of the law. There's a lot of things that happen to him shouldn't have, such as placing his name on the NCIC, such as uh, charging him with contempt of court. And I was helping him, so I know quite a bit about that. And also, I don't mind telling y'all that I filed judiciary performance complaint against several people. Also, I even contacted the FBI about what was going on. Percy Bland was an atrocious mayor, but I could say that Greg Gillen is not being treated fairly. I think that he's being treated continuously outside of the law. I think that and I think that his wife filed a divorce against him, and I think that what she needs to do is that she needs to relent. Let that man live his life and give him half of whatever then, because he built that business. He built that business, because I remember what the business was prior to him and her getting together. It wasn't nothing but maybe about winning. Well, I see anywhere from one to $200,000 a year profit. And you've seen all that growth and development you've seen in J&J Tire that was created by him. So you have what you call marital assets. Marital assets is anything that was accumulated, acquired while you're married to that individual or that person. And so during their marriage, they turned a $300,000 business into I'm gonna say maybe perhaps a a $15 million business. I'm gonna say if total assets and everything, it'll be worth anywhere from $7 to $15 million. So if they created that, you went from a $300,000 business to maybe $1 million business that's including assets and cash in the bank, to maybe where you got $1 to $2 million in the bank, and you got probably about like another $7 to $8, $9 million in assets. So we're gonna say it's a $7 million business. So if they divorced, then and that's what they accumulated in equity. You're supposed to have what you call equitable division of the assets, meaning that he should get half of whatever they acquired while they were married, meaning more than the maybe $1,075,000 that perhaps that he took when he left. He didn't take anything, he didn't steal it. It was marital asset. It was his. He actually took less than what it was for him that's eligible for him. Had that judge been right, that judge would have let that stay there and just went and gave him the divorce. Okay, well, I'm gonna deduct this $1 or $2 or $3, $4 million from him. You still owe him $2 million, but it ain't how it went. Everybody will focus on getting this money back, putting his name on the NCIC. How the hell you gonna put somebody's name in the NCIC on a divorce proceeding in a criminal and law? Now Primo can say what he want to say. I say the reason why his ass really not there anymore, and good thing he ain't. I don't care how y'all think he's a good judge. He was an atrocious judge. And the reason why he ain't is because of this shit he did to Greg Gillen, putting his dad name. First of all, they filed out Robert Jones. Robert Jones is the one filed this thing. He filed a divorce complaint. It's just like you folks. Okay, Tool Belt. It's just like Tool Belt. You and Miss Penny get a divorce. And then now when Miss Penny go file for her divorce, they're going to put you and Donna Lee Holt name on the divorce. Hell, well, Donna Lee ain't married to her. Mr. Gillian, Greg's dad, was not married to Tammy, but they put his name in there to try to draw him in. They put that man's name on the NCIC. That man was arrested by the federal marshals in Missouri. None of this shit was supposed to happen. Anybody doing that broke the damn law. That's what Primo ass did. That's why he ain't done no more. That's my story, and I'm gonna stick to it. That's my opinion based on those facts. Man, you know them judges don't want to go nowhere. They stay. What judge ever resign if his ass wasn't forced to resign? They don't want to go nowhere. They drunk with power. That's why I say it's always about the power. But I hope Greg be okay, and I hope that now Amanda Rainer came in there. She was appointed. That they'll go again, circumvent the people's choice by putting somebody there that's not gonna keep the good old system going. So we gotta do better than that. We just got to do better than that. And I gotta tell you this too, folks. I gotta use this opportunity to talk about. You have a lot of people out there supporting Sheriff Moore. Now I'm not one of them. I advocate Michael Evans being the next sheriff of Kemper County. Michael Evans was a representative, and he resigned that job to run for sheriff as a Democrat. And I can understand him doing that. Now understand, in Kemper County, the meetings with the Democratic Party. It is in Kemper County now. Now, outside of Kemper County, it's because there's a majority of black citizens, and most black people, and these are elderly folks, most of them vote Democrat. They still lockstep in. Now, you wouldn't be wasting your vote if you vote in the Democratic Party, because Michael Evans is running against Sheriff Moore, and I support Sheriff Moore, Michael Evans being the next sheriff of Lauderdale County. No, I know what Sheriff Moore, y'all think he's not corrupt, but I disagree. I've seen what he did to Fred Wells. This man has been fighting arson charge going on 7 years. That shit ain't right. And for him, I know personally he called trying to get his bond revoked. I know personally he telling them he don't want why should this shit be personal with him? Wasn't Fred Trump? Fred didn't do it. He ain't commit no crime. Oh, Sheriff Moore think he like his girlfriend. Oh, I know. Two Bells, ain't he married? Yeah, he's married to Bell. He got nothing to do with it. You know, police officers are notoriously adulterous and adulterous, meaning that the females and the male, they just hoes. They ain't nothing but hoes. They always got them a girlfriend, always outside of their marriage messing around with somebody. But even so, how about let's just let the law work? Oh, they circumvented the speedy trial. Gerald Mumford did that. And so he filed a lawsuit. Yeah, I drew it up against Mumford. Oh, I was kicking Mumford's ass. He had to go hire an attorney. He tried on his own. I don't mind telling you, I'm pretty good at that. But let me tell you what the judges do in Lauderdale County. So I was doing pretty good doing what you call doing pro se petition, helping people with pro se petition, like a paralegal does. It got to the point where the judge started asking them, who helped you with this? My name came up, they denied or even wasn't even here. So here they again. They mad at me. I ain't never done nothing to Judge Wright. I supported Judge Bailey, but Judge Bailey never been never antagonistic toward me. I think Judge Wright had, but I still think that they all recused them. Why would Val recuse herself when me and her are like friends? But she recused herself, and they put Larry Robertson there, who didn't show up, went outside of the law. And then Judge Bailey ignored the law again and denied. So I had to appeal. I'm in the Supreme Court on a misdemeanor fault. A $500 fine. Hell, I'm a G. I can do 5 days in jail. I can do 50 days in jail. I can do 5 jails in jail because my legacy already made. But why they want to F with me? Because if I come in there, I'm sure not gonna create a problem. You think I'm right? I write writs every damn day. Yeah, and I'm gonna write one now for them sending me to jail recently. I wanna, yeah, so yes, Sheriff Moore should no longer be the sheriff. I think they need to have term limits. I think y'all ass get in there on and take your ass home. Old folks ain't got no business running shit. They turn this stuff, black people really done messed up. They been keeping this shit to themselves. They ain't doing nothing, but we ain't even hardly got any young people. I'm sorry, it's Terry Rogers the second is a blessing, because most of his peers are not as we're gonna say well worded as he is, or well read as he is, or had the knowledge that he has, or give a damn about it. So he's rare because we haven't been teaching our children to take over for us, whereas everybody else in the other communities have done so. We let the Arabs come in here and take the stores from the white folks and even from the black folks. And now the Arabs own all this kind of stuff, even the hotel. Now we'll let the Mexicans come here. They done took our jobs. Now in our neighborhoods taking our homes from us. I see it. You see it. But it ain't the Mexican fault. It ain't the Arab or the Iranian or it's not their fault or the East Asian fault or the Chinese people fault. It's our fault because we don't prepare our children for everything. We still got our hand out waiting on somebody to give us something. And it's time for that shit to end. Let me get on my strip now. I want y'all to leave your comments and things like that. You know, folks, I do got to tell y'all this. I read this somewhere and I thought I would say this. I have been a lifelong Democrat. Y'all here too best, bro. You ain't voted all Democrat every. Well, I ain't say I was a staunch lockstep card carrying, but I've been a lifelong Democrat, you know, and I was afraid of the Republican Party when all along it's the Democratic Party I should have been afraid of, and you should too. Think about it. Think about that. Folks, when you hear me talk, look at Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell ain't got no business in public office. And what's that Dianne Feinstein? She ain't got. In 1969, she was voted into the Board of Supervisors. And then when I think Harvey Milk was either killed or however the gay person was killed, she became mayor temporarily. And then she ran for governor in 1990, lost. And then in 1992, she was elected into the Senate. And that's how long she's been there, folks. Come on now. Y'all had them years up now. That's 30 years in the Senate. She's worse than my aunt. She's suffering from both long-term and short-term memory loss. She gets off on a tangent and somebody got to tell her what to say. And that's bad, folks, when somebody been in there that long. It's time for them to go home. But when you look at it, folks, we have young people around here that ain't doing nothing. We have young people that's waiting to take over, but you won't go home. You don't need the money. Your ass gonna die in the office. So it's all for naught. You ain't doing a good job. There's no way. There's no way that I could. Man, these babies are being born now, knowing how to type and type fast and disseminate information faster than me. There's no way that my dad is as smart as I am, or there's nobody in my dad's generation as smart as I am. While Einstein was a genius, there's a lot of people with his ability now that are not classified as a genius because the brain power has grown since then. Now, you're always going to have a unique individual that's going to have this, like say people graduate from college at age 6. Well, Einstein wasn't even that person, but he wasn't a diamond. So that's the deviation of the norm. But the norm is that everybody from that generation, they can compete with people from the generation after that and that. And as you can see, that things have been progressing based on younger people taking over and coming with their idea. So look at the kind of cell phones that we have. We have cars that are flying now. We have cars that'll drive themselves. The people that invented that stuff are not people that are 100 years old, not people that are 80 years old. So these people really should not be in it. I think that at retirement age, you really should retire and let young people come in and take over. You're too old to be in op. You hear Too Bad talking. I don't know why he keep talking to me. He said, bro, you just finished supporting Jimmy Smith. Well, everybody else is that age too. So of those octogenarians, well, maybe not that old. Jimmy Smith is the most qualified. And Too Bad, stay out of my ear. Folks, I want to tell y'all this is that Wayman Newell is running for supervisor District 2, and I'm supporting Wayman Newell. You know, Wayman called me the other day and he was telling me that he told me what Too Bad didn't tell me. He told me Reverend Cole was going to be at Mount Carmel Church in Lauderdale on the 14th preaching. And he invited me to go too. So I'm going to that. And because I'm going to stand up in there and I'm see, because Too Bad there, you know, I don't know whether Too Bad coming or not, but you know, I'm Too Bad's musician. So whenever Too Bad go out of town or go somewhere and play, I'm his guitar player. But anyway, folks, Wayman is the most qualified person in there. He's the one that should get that position. I can tell you that it's one thing about it that Wayman don't never change. He ain't gonna forget who you is either, what you do for him. Now he ain't gonna wear his feelings on his sleeve either, because a lot of times y'all know we and him be on the same different side of the fence, but we're on the same side of the fence now. Not only am I voting for him, now had Ricky Roberts not ran for sheriff, I would not have voted in the Republican primary, but I'm glad I did. So once I done start voting, I'm gonna keep on voting in the Republican primary. What about you, Q? Yeah. Y'all heard Q, she is too. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to be able to vote somewhere, and when you know your vote make a difference as opposed to wasting your vote. And it's not green. Now you know Martin is a master electrician. Hey Martin is a master electrician. I can tell you that he is one of the best electricians in the state. He's a very good person. So, but he's licensed by the state. He can go anywhere and do it, and he's good. And you know what? He has a young man working with him, very respectful. I forgot his name, but I had the privilege to work with them over at the Grace Home, and Martin did a stellar job. And so his work was very respectful. I mean, folks, I'm just telling you, Martin tell you, this his job here. I mean, this house was built probably in the 1930s. It was still sitting on those cedar blocks up under some part of it was in really, really bad shape. But when me and Martin got through it, now I gotta tell y'all, I was the builder, I was the one that did the blueprints and did all that. But for us, the electrical, man, Martin and his worker was all up in the loft, everywhere they need to be. And folks, I promise you, if you go there and see it, you'll think you're in a condominium. Martin did a good job. And that Martin Jacks, that's the husband of Rita Jacks, who's running for coroner in Lauderdale County. And I gotta tell y'all now, yes, Too Bad stay out my ear. He said, bro, you just said, boy, you better stop. I'm your oldest brother now. I'm full rank on you. You need to stop it. Anyway, yes, I'm voting for Rita for coroner. Yes, I am. I'm voting for Rita for coroner. And I suggest right now, if you guys voting in I think she's the only one in the Democratic primary. But those of you that vote Democrat, y'all better go and vote early and vote for Rita Jackson coroner out of that county. I think she'll do a stellar job because she's educated enough, very intelligent, strong black. She's a strong. Excuse me, mom. She's a beautiful, strong, beautiful black lady. She's a leader. She's very, very educated, and she's more than qualified for that job right there. But and by her being more than qualified, that means she's the most qualified person for that job. But anyway, let me get back to my script. Y'all see me pulling pages and things like that. Oh yeah. I want to talk about Donald Trump a little bit. And the reason why I say that, one of the things that a person said that Donald Trump said, all you got to do is just keep repeating and keep saying the same thing over and over again. It doesn't matter whether or not it's a lie, they're gonna believe it. And I gotta say this is that you gotta be careful how you're being influenced. Being influenced so that you can ignore facts and believe lies and believe what people say. Now, I can tell you this is that I don't like what Donald Trump did. I don't like the lying. I don't like the things that he done. Now, for as president, for us, he's been one of the better presidents for us than any other. Would I vote for him? No, I would not, because I don't like the fact that he lied about the voting being rigged and all that. And this thing, and they continue that, and they lost all over the United States by Republican judges. And then this thing here is not a witch hunt. It's look, I get in trouble. Look, Greg Gillian didn't do anything, and they put him on the NCIC. Look how atrocious our system is. Look how our system is not blind. Lady Lester is not blind. It's corrupt. If they don't like you, if they want to shut you up, they want to stop you. If they can't do it with a bullet, then they use their power, not their pen. I use my pen to protect myself. They use their power to oppress the citizenry. They use their power to control the media and tell you what you need to hear, what they want you to hear. And so we kind of like got to get away from that, you know. We can't let lies and conspiracy make us stubborn so that we'll resist facts. And it sows division when you listen to lies and conspiracy, such as what Donald Trump is doing and has done to this country. I don't like what he did on January 6th. If he had one and Biden done that, I wouldn't like it either. And I would expect the same thing. But it says a lot about anybody that's running for president that does not say anything, does not attack that person, and continue to stand by him blindly. He's been charged with so many things. I think that you need to wait and not support and talking about pardon him. You didn't pardon me. Shoot. Man, it's just sad. And then what that does, it actually destabilizes our society. And we got to get away from that. We got to, because it had not been, I have been reading the comments as I've said this. I want to make sure I talk about everything that I wanted to talk about. And y'all know Dianne Feinstein is 90 years old. That's too old to be in now. She's gonna die. She ain't gonna even know she's dead. Well, she'll be dead because she won't have no memory. She don't know where she is or what she's doing. Man, it's a disgrace to all of us. Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Libertarians, black, white, yellow, green, indigo. It's a disgrace to all of us for her to still be in office. Even Mitch McConnell. It just, I call them people gatekeepers. And we got to get away from the gatekeepers and things like that. But folks, I'm transitioning, you know, like I'm my sister's at home. She's doing good. I want to thank all of you for y'all support and things like that. And I'm reading the comments and I don't see any comments. I'd like for you guys to subscribe and keep on. And again, I don't think that make sure when you vote. If you're gonna vote for a Democrat, make sure it's all straight. You can't vote for Democrat and come vote, not in the primary. You got to vote in one or the other. So when you see that sign in Donald Jill Johnson's office, she's actually doing a good job. She's helping you out. She's letting you know if you're gonna vote Republican, you can't go back and forth. That's in the general election. You cannot do that in primary. Primaries are strict. And I just again I want to thank you guys for listening and I want to say this to my brother Tubelt and my brother Fred and all of you out there that's listening. Great day. And I hope things get better for Greg. Things are bad for him, you know, when everybody in your family depend on, turn on you. That's really, really bad. I hope he be okay. And if anything I can do to help him, I will. And only thing I can say that we wouldn't have to help each other if we go before the judges and the judges rule not so much because they angry at you. Now it's okay sometimes to deviate from the law, but only if you're gonna make it better, but not to do somebody a special favor. But we need to stick to the law. If we follow the law, we should not use that law to make life bad for a person. We should not use that law to put a person in jail. We should not use that law because we don't like person. When we have people that are in position of power and authority, then we need to get those peoples up out of there, such as James Moore in Kemper County. He need not to be the sheriff. I can tell y'all a story about that. We did under the motion of discovery and filing, ask for the footage because Mumford, and he's the county attorney for Hinds County, lied and said, and he signed Fred's name to you have a right to a speedy trial. And without Fred knowing about it, he signed his name to the documents. He said he signed it. He didn't say for Fred, he signed Fred name to this thing. He didn't sign his name, Turner. He signed Fred name. Forgery, folks. He signed Fred name to the continuance, which immediately did away with his right to a speedy trial. And by him doing that, we filed a lawsuit. And so we had it going. I had him going, so they had to bring him a special. They brought in Barry Ford because all the Hinds County judges recused themselves. Rankin and Hinds County. So they brought in a retired judge, Barry Ford. And Barry Ford we're gonna say he threw a wrench into the works and ended up dismissing everything. But that man had to pay a lot of money. They tried to get me in trouble practicing law. I wasn't practicing law. The judge gave me permission to be in the courtroom to help Fred understand the law, and so got them there. They tried so many things to do me. All here they want to attack me. We don't want to. Why attack me? No, don't attack the message. I mean, attack the message. Don't attack the messenger. I'm just a messenger. I'm reading and interpreting the law. But I'm very good at that and putting it there. And as you will see that I'm very good at interpreting law by law. But I think that the judges in the, I don't know whether whatever district it is, that's Kemper County, and well, we're talking about Judge Bailey, Judge Wright. I think the judges, I don't trust any judge, even if it's even Judge Young. I don't trust Judge Young, Graham. I don't trust Judge Howell, Mr. or Mrs. John or Lisa. I don't trust either of them, and I don't trust Dustin Markham to officiate over anything that's dealing with me. So I'm going to be working. And I can tell you, folks, I was supposed to go to court on the 7th, and I get a thing for them to come on the 28th. That's suspect. I don't trust anyone in that court system that's in position of power and authority, because when they get you behind those doors, folks, I ain't the one they gonna come and kill. So they come and tell y'all some lies. Now I can't stop them from arresting me if they arrest me. I can't stop them for doing anything illegal. I couldn't stop them before, but I can get them with that pen. And that's what I do. I get them with the pen. And so I'm gonna be using my pen quite a bit lately. And I'm gonna be drawing everybody that think you done something to me and you done got away with it where you haven't gotten away with it. Everybody think that you scheming in back rooms to either take away my life, my liberty, my pursuit of happiness, or either interfere with me or anybody in my family messing with my children or Q or Candace. Anybody that think you can do that and I'm gonna just let you do that. Well, first of all, I'm gonna get you out of that seat. See, here's the thing, like Percy Bland did all that shit, but his ass ain't there no more. Got his ass up out of the meeting. A lot of you out there helped me do that shit. So all of you out there, you got power today, but you don't have the power of mine. But look here, God is watching all of this. Let me just say it how I feel it, because if I say it, if I feel it and don't say it, then something wrong with it. God is watching all of this shit. Look at Dianne Feinstein. God slapping her ass. Look at damn Mitch McConnell. God is slapping his ass. The same thing there. God will slap you too. You think you sitting on power and all that kind of stuff. You ain't got no power. You got what man gave you. This is a democracy. Something happened. You're gonna reap what you say. Not this day, but you're gonna reap it before you die. And Rita Jack is the most qualified person to be in that position that she's running for. She should have been the chief of police. Y'all